Whenever you guys are ready.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
My main impression with regard to the position of this government with regard to the far east is that
all men are created equal.
Equal. We are greatly overextended in our whole thinking about what we can accomplish and should try to accomplish in that area.
That they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights.
We are deceiving ourselves and others when we pretend to have the answers to the problem that agitate many of these Asiatic peoples.
Among these are life.
We have about 50% of the world's wealth.
Wealth, liberty.
But only 6.3% of its population.
And the pursuit of the happiness.
In this situation, we cannot fail to be the object of envy and resentment.
That to secure these rights.
Right. Our real task in this coming period is to devise a pattern of relationships.
Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers,
which will permit us to maintain this position of disparity.
From the consent of the governed,
without detriment to our national security.
We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Ha! To do so, we will have to dispense with all sentimentality and daydreaming.
That they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights.
Our attention will have to be concentrated everywhere on our immediate national objectives.
That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
We need not deceive ourselves that we can afford today the luxury of altruism and world benefaction.
Whenever any form of government becomes destructive, all of these ends.
Destructive?
It is the right of the people.
Destructive?
It is the right of the people.
Destructive?
It's right of the people.
Are faced with the necessity for evolving new forms of life to conform to the impact of modern technology.
To alter or abolish it.
This process of adaptation will also be
abolish it.
long and violent.
And to institute new government, laying its foundations of such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall
permit us to maintain this position of disparity without positive detriment to our national security.
Seem most likely to affect their
safety and happiness.
Safety and happiness.
Their safety and happiness.
Their safety and happiness.
Their safety and happiness.
Affect their safety and happiness.
It is urgently necessary.
Prudence, indeed. will dictate
that we recognize our own limitations as a moral and ideological force.
Governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes.
Among Asiatic peoples. Among the Asiatic peoples.
Experience hath shown
among the Asiatic peoples
that
this process cannot be a liberal or peaceful one.
Mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable.
Sufferable.
An acceleration.
Further hunger, distress, violence are inevitable.
Then to right themselves by abolishing
In the face of this situation, we would be better off to dispense now with a number of the concepts
forms to which are accustomed.
which they have underlined our thinking.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
We should dispense with the aspiration to be liked.
All men are created equal.
To be regarded as the repository of a high-minded international altruism.
They are endowed by their creator
Stop putting ourselves in the position of being our brother's keeper.
certain unalienable rights.
We should cease to talk about vague and unreal objectives such as
Life,
human rights,
liberty,
raising of living standards,
and their pursuit of
and
happiness.
democratization.
When a long train of abuses and aspirations pursuing invariably the same object advances a design to reduce them under absolute despotism.
The day is not far off when we are going to have to deal in straight power concepts.
It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such governments and to provide new guards for their future
The less
security.
we are then hampered by idealistic slogans, the better.
Prudence, indeed,
Prudence
will dictate that governments long established
have about 50% of the
50.
world's wealth. 50%, but only 6.3% of its population.
6.3. When a long train of abuses and aspirations
Permit us to maintain this position of disparity without
pursuing invariably
concentrated everywhere in our immediate national objectives.
the same object that advances a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right and it is their duty.
Refrain from offering moral and ideological advice.
It is the right of the people
All this too is probably unavoidable
to secure these rights.
without positive detriment to our national security.
Security,
Security.
organizing its powers in such form can
Powers, we could not hope to combat it without the diversion of a far greater portion of our national effort than our people would ever willingly concede to such a purpose.
that all men are created equal.
Our political philosophies and our patterns for living have very little applicability to the masses of people in Asia.
That they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable
That may
rights.
be all right for us with our highly developed political traditions.
That among our deeds are life, liberty, and the pursuit
But
of
they are
happiness.
simply not practical or helpful today for most of the people in Asia.
So that was about 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's good.
Which, yeah, it was really impressive. I didn't expect you guys to finish before the music was over.
I thought the music started like at a certain point. I was like, oh shit, I'm running out of time because I felt like the music was going to end. So I was like, I need to hurry. I need to rush.